Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Falari. I'm going to be talking to you today about business analysis, how to start a career in business analysis. And in the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to be walking you through what I think it is, what I think business analysis is, and how you basically can start from anywhere you are in the world. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the order of the day today, and I'm going to be talking about business analysis. So, what is business analysis? There's a lot of misconception out there, and it's a lot of conflicting opinion when it comes to business analysis. Some people don't know that business analysis is a role in tech, but yes, it is a role in tech. So, business analysis is a disciplined approach to identifying business needs and determining solutions to problems. I'm gonna break all this technical jargons down to make you understand how business analysis works. Okay, it involves understanding how an organization functions, um, what its objectives are, how to achieve those objectives efficiently, and much more. Okay, business analysis are oftentimes called BAs. They facilitate communication between stakeholders and provide a clear understanding of business requirements. They use various tools and techniques to analyze business processes, assess risk, and recommend changes or improvements. Okay, so let's just start from the very first definition here, which is what business analysts do. Okay, so if you do understand what we say here, which is a business need is what a business requires to perform its particular task. Businesses do have their own needs as well. Say, for example, they need to fulfill a particular amount of, if it's a retail store, they need to fulfill a particular amount of orders and the likes, right? So these businesses have needs, and these needs must have solutions, right? And what business analysts do is basically identify these needs, document the process of having to solve this problem, and actually preferring or recommending solutions to these needs to solve the problem. Okay. And that's exactly what business analysts do, right? The involvement is literally talking to different people at different points in time to be able to understand the business needs, the requirements, what is expected of them, and how to solve this problem. Okay. All right. So these are like I said, all these are just technical jargons, right? So if you look at this cycle, right, you can see that the first thing you identify here is the need. You identify the business need. Then you analyze the process, you analyze the risk, the benefits, why you should take on this, why you should solve this problem for the organization. Then you recommend solutions, right? You prefer recommendations. You talk to stakeholders. We're going to be defining what stakeholders are. And then you implement solutions, right? And that's literally what you're going to be doing as a business analyst. Okay, we're going to dive into this and define it. So let me give you an illustration. If you've ever been to a restaurant before, right? The moment you walk into a restaurant, the first thing you do is, as the customer that you are, you actually check through the menu and then you place an order, right? So once you place this order, okay, the waiter comes to you and asks you, okay, for the sake of example, we'll just say Sam. Okay, hi Mr. Sam. I see you've placed an order for a cheeseburger, milkshake, and a dessert, right? And Mr. Sam says yes. Okay, and then they ask them what particular type of flavor for the milkshake. Say for example, it's vanilla, it's chocolate, strawberry. They take all those details down, correct? For the burger, they tell you, do you want chicken burger? Do you want meat burger? Do you want other types of burger? They give you those varieties. And then you say, Mr. Sam says, yes. Okay. And then once the waiter is done, and then for the dessert as well, of course, the ice cream, they can tell you they have ice cream, blah, 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 and XYZ. Right. So once you're done with that, once the waiter is done with that, what do? They confirm with you and say, okay, Mr. Sam, so you ordered a vanilla milkshake. with a chicken burger, not with a lot of ham and cheese in it. You ordered this, you ordered that. And once the waiter is done confirming that, they ask you, is this what you ordered? And then you say yes. Okay. The moment you say yes, the moment the waiter says, okay, sir, we're going to be sending this to the kitchen now. So the kitchen actually receives this order. Okay. Once the kitchen is done receiving the order, the kitchen confirms that is this what they truly want. And then if there is a situation whereby there's no chicken or there's no beef burger, they communicate that to the waiter. The waiter tells Mr. Sam, right? That look, the kitchen is saying they don't have this particular type of burger. Would you like this? So all that interaction takes place. And once everything is done, the waiter brings the order, and then from time to time, they tell you the order is going to take 15, 10, 5, 2 minutes, and then they eventually bring the order to you. This entire process, right, is what you do as a business analyst. Okay. So in this scenario, you basically talk to people that have these needs, quote unquote, stakeholders that have these needs. For example, if they need to upgrade their software, these are stakeholders. They come to you as a business analyst saying, hey, we need to upgrade our software rather. As the business analyst, just like what the waiter was doing, you gather more information, which is called requirements. Okay. You gather more information from your stakeholders, and then you ask them, okay, what do you think this system should do? How do you think this system can be better? What do you think we can do more of? What do you think we can do less of? What do you think we can start doing? And what do you think we can stop doing, right? That's what you exactly do. So you gather those requirements or those expectations from your stakeholders. And then they tell you, just like the waiter collected the order from the customer, they tell you these things. So by the time they tell you these things, you go ahead and then ask them these questions. Okay. So you said you want this, you said you want that, and you said you want that. Okay. Once your stakeholders approve and they confirm that this is all what they want to see in that project or that product, you take it to the kitchen. In this scenario, it's called the development team. The development team consists of your software developers, your designers, your back-end engineers, all those guys, right? So you take it to them and say, look, this stakeholder or this set of stakeholders have identified this particular business need. They've identified that they need an upgrade for their software. This and this and this and this are the list of things that they would like to see and they would like to get done. Your team, right? Your team, which is the development team, in this scenario, it's a kitchen team. They tell you, oh, this can be done, that can be done, this can be done. You go back and then communicate to your stakeholders and tell them, look, I've spoken to my development team. They would like to take this approach. They would like to take that approach. Do you agree? If they say yes, right, go back to them again, right? That's essentially what you do as a business analyst, right? So once the development team agrees, the stakeholders agrees on the particular approach and solution, they then go on to develop and build. So moving on to the next thing. So the major actors in the business analyst world are SME. They call these people subject matter experts. The subject matter experts are basically people who have domain knowledge or information concerning the problem that you're having. I'll give you an example. A subject matter expert on, say for example, you're want to make a dress, okay? A subject matter expert would be maybe your fashion designer. They understand the texture, they understand material, they understand designing, they understand all those stuff. I give another example. A subject matter expert in, say for example, you want to build a house. A subject matter expert would basically be people like your quantity surveyor, your architect, your construction engineers. Those people are subject matter experts because they know so much. They have domain knowledge about the problem or the solution you're trying to make, right? So those people are basically the people you interact with. in the business world, in the business analysis world, then you have your stakeholders, right? Stakeholders are basically just people who are essentially part, or they give you information. They don't necessarily have to be subject matter experts. Project manager is basically someone who coordinates project activities and ensures timely delivery. Okay. Developers are basically people who build the product or project. So those are the main categories of people that you're going to be interacting with as a business analyst. Okay. The next thing is, who should be a business analyst? Okay. I generally would say anybody who could listen, who could pay attention to details, and who can communicate. Okay. Again, anybody who could listen, who could pay attention to details, and who could communicate. If you notice, I didn't mention tools or techniques. The reason why I didn't mention that is because essentially anybody can learn anything. I use WhatsApp today. I wasn't born to using WhatsApp. I learned how to use WhatsApp, which means that the tools being used every day as a business analyst, you can basically learn how to use it. Okay. The technique, say for example, you want to brush your teeth. So first of all, you take out your brush, you rinse it, right? And you apply your toothpaste and then you brush. That sequential process of you doing that was learned, right? So every tool and technique can be learned. And what you need to understand as a business analyst is you need to have the fundamental skills. Okay. You need to have the ability to be able to listen, to be able to pay attention, and to be able to communicate effectively. Okay. So your question is going to be, Folari, listen to what? Okay. You need to learn how to listen to your stakeholders. Okay. Learn how to listen to your stakeholders. If you go to this example, right, of the waiter that I gave before, imagine you walked into a restaurant where the waiter essentially didn't listen to you. Say, for example, you told them you want a chicken burger and then they brought a beef burger without communicating that to you. You wouldn't like the service of that waiter because they were not listening. Same thing in the world of business analysis. A situation whereby your stakeholders or your subject matter expert, right, they give you a particular information and they tell you that this is the problem, and you go ahead and do something else. There's going to be clash, right? So as a business analyst, one of the most important skills is your listening skills. Okay? Your listening skills. You need to learn how to listen to subject matter experts, and you need to learn how to listen to your stakeholders. Okay? And the next thing you must learn how to do is pay attention. Okay? So if you look at it here, I'd said you need to pay attention. Attention to what? To details. These details in the business analyst world are called requirement. All right, so let's go back to the scenario that we gave of the restaurant. Imagine you walked into that restaurant as Mr. Sam and you told the waiter that you wanted your dessert first. You wanted the cheeseburger and the milkshake to come next, and then you were good to pay. So imagine a scenario whereby the waiter didn't take note of that, and then they actually brought the cheeseburger first before the dessert. That waiter wasn't paying attention to that detail that you had given. As a business analyst, your stakeholders will give you a lot of information and you need to pay attention to details. They could tell you that this is the approach they want to solve this problem, or this is the particular type of solution that they want. You need to learn how to pay so much attention to that. Okay? So as a business analyst, you need to pay attention to details. Details could include things like requirements, expectations, and all that. And lastly, the last thing you must learn how to do as a business analyst is communicate. Communicate effectively. Because this set of people, your subject matter experts, your stakeholders, your developers, your project managers, these people, of course, have mouth, they have ears. You must learn how to communicate with them effectively. You've walked into a restaurant whereby just because of how effective the waiter was communicating with you, you decided to tip them. So is the world of a business analyst. If you are a business analyst and you cannot communicate properly and effectively, you're going to have problem every single time. You're going to have problem with your developers, have problem with your product or project managers, and even have problems with your subject matter experts or even the executive of the organization. You need to learn how to communicate effectively. Okay. All right. So if you think about the aspects like we spoke about, is communicating. You have to learn how to communicate back and forth with the requirements. You need to learn how to listen to your stakeholders and again pay attention to these requirements. Okay. All right. So what are the skills? Okay. So we spoke about listening skills, we spoke about writing, we spoke about communicating. So this writing skills translates to paying attention. When you pay attention, of course, you must learn how to document or journal stuff. Okay. So we're going to break that down. From the listening skills, you're listening to analyze information, right? You're listening to basically collaborate with people. You're listening to ask questions. Okay. So think of yourself as a midwife. Your stakeholders are trying to birth an idea. You're supposed to help them birth this idea. Take it to the scenario of the restaurant. If you listen effectively as a waiter, you should be able to articulate the points that your customers are trying to make, right? So some of them would ask you or would tell you that they need to make or they need something very, very spicy. Because you're listening very well to them, you can understand or you can recommend a particular solution or a particular meal to them. So is exactly your job as a business analyst. You need to learn how to listen effectively to people, right? Just so you can analyze their thinking and what they're trying to communicate to you. You must listen to learn how to collaborate. You must listen to learn how to ask questions, to prove inquiry, right? And to be able to get more information from them. So, say for example, you walk into that restaurant and then the waiter asks Mr. Stam, you are the waiter, and you ask Mr. Stam, oh, what would you like to have today? And then he says tea. Okay. What type of tea? Right? But if you are not listening, you wouldn't ask what type of tea. So you need to listen effectively. And then he says, oh, I want coffee, right? Or he says, I want green tea. Or he says, I want a particular type of tea with a particular type of milk. So you can ask more questions as regards to that. Writing skills as a business analyst. And when I mean writing, I do not necessarily mean literally writing. You don't have to use your hand to write. You don't have to do all that. If you take a look or if you think of it in the world of the scenario that I gave before, you walk into a restaurant. Most times, this waiters usually have a little notepad that they hold just to be able to write something just so they don't forget. Like I said, so is your job as a business analyst. You walk into a room whereby you're having a meeting with a stakeholder, trying to get some information from them, but because both of you are having a conversation, you want to write things out just so you don't forget. Okay, so you want to document your requirements, you want to document your findings, you want to document some other things, maybe some key information that he gave to you, and then prefer solutions. Okay, prefer solutions. It's as easy as that. It's not difficult. Okay. Last thing you want to do is learn how to communicate. You're communicating with your stakeholders, communicating with your development team, communicating with a lot of people, right? Trying to present solutions, trying to negotiate back and forth, saying, oh, we don't have this, but we would like to recommend this solution. Your stakeholder says, no, we would like this. And then you negotiate with them and say, okay, could you take this approach? Essentially, communicating back and forth would help you as a business analyst. So, like I said, those are essentially the most important things that you need to understand and you need to know as a business analyst. And you don't really need more than that. If you ask me, there are a lot of other skills that can be subdivided from you listening, from you writing, and from you communicating. But you're essentially, a good business analyst is a good listener. A good business analyst is a good writer. A good business analyst is someone who communicates properly and effectively. Okay? All right. We're going to be moving on to the next thing. How much do business analysts make? That's a very, very important question, but I would say it depends on. So if you're looking at a location such as the US, Canada, North America, essentially, they have a certain amount of money they pay there. If you're looking at an entry level, a mid-level, mid-role, or a senior level position, there are different salary ranges as regards to that. But this website is a really good one. I think it's called Zapier. Yeah, Zapier.com. So you can go ahead and just check your salary expectations there and by country. So you can filter by location, by industry, by education, and by the company. Okay, you can see this. Okay, give me one moment. All right, so this is just very, very generic because this was based on a location which was Ontario, Canada. You can see the average was $84,000, $40 an hour, and the likes, right? So that's basically it. It varies depending on the country you are, your educational background, the industry you want to work in. Of course, tech would pay more than, I'd say, fashion. Fashion will pay less than maybe finance, right? So it depends on the organization that you are trying to work in. Okay. What's the career trajectory? So as a business analyst, you basically start as either an entry-level business analyst or just a business analyst or a systems analyst, as some people would call it. From there, you go on to become a senior business analyst. From there, depending on the organization you are, they could either put you as product or project manager or program manager. From there, you move on to a more senior role, say for example, a senior product manager. From them, you become head of product. From there, you go on to become vice president of product. And from there, you can then go on to the C-suite level, CTO, CPO, CTO, Chief Technology Officer, CPO, Chief Product Officer. Okay, you can then just go on from there, and that's about it. Okay, so most people would ask, how do you become a business analyst for Larry? The first thing I would say is, first of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so subscribe to my YouTube channel. I teach about business analysis. I teach about data analytics as well, which is basically what you need to basically become a business analyst. But I would say that if you want to become a business analyst, the first thing is go to a restaurant, essentially emulate or look at what the waiter is doing. Do you like that sort of thing? If it's something that you really like, though, of answering questions, talking to people, talking to the kitchen, then that can work for you, right? After that, you can essentially watch an introductory course to business analysis, a 30 minutes course such as this. Do you really like what you hear? Does it look like something you want to do? If yes, that's about what you need. Then you can start to register for a program, register for a course, take an online course, start to work on projects, and that's how you get into the world of business analysis. Okay, thank you so much again, guys, for watching this video. More to come. Watch out for the space. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you. See you on the next video.